Looks like it's gonna be the Ice Mines, which is our longest map in the game. That means the payload push is very long. It still has, you know, 2, 3, maybe 4 choke points, but you're gonna have to push it a very long way, which means you can't make mistakes, right? You gotta keep that push going the whole time. It's very hard to convert off of overtime if you're only at the halfway point, whereas you might be able to do that on some other maps. And the capture point, well, tell me about the capture point. What makes it unique compared to Serpent Beach?
It's very closed in. There are largely one way in and one way out. So space controllers are going to be very, very important here. Guys like Fernando, guys like Drogos rather, to try and get those fire spits on the line early. We'll have to see who's going to be reigning supreme in the zone control department as we head into the champion draft between Black Dragons Team QG. Game number 2, QG leading the way.
That's right, QG up 1-0. They only need 2 more games to tie themselves 1-1 for the group stages. Black Dragons hovering the Makoa and looking to take it. They will take it away from QG. And I think QG has to respond with Eevee here, man. Like, you just can't let Skullis play it again.
This isn't bad, though. Fernando, a very high impact pick on Ice Mines, particularly because of the way his fireball damage scales up when hitting multiple targets. And like we talked about, very narrow entrances to the point zone on Ice Mine, so a lot of those multi-hit fireballs can ultimately win team fights right off the bat. Rounding things out with a Cassie is always a good look for Knight.
That's right, and they are taking something away here. Cassie is getting taken away from Pings, and now it's like, okay, what can you play? How can you do on Shaolin the Archer? And I suspect that's going to go to Pings, right? It's like an outplay-centered, medium, long-range character, so really excited to see that. Buck coming in for QG, so a shotgun leaping flanker that uses healing to stay alive and win those duels. A late pick Eevee for Black Dragon. So QG, I mean, Eevee doesn't have the same level of praise she had in the last game, so maybe Skullis will be a little bit worse off.
That's a good point, and you know, QG just, I think picking the Buck here shows that they're just not in favor of the Eevee. Eevee, a great pick.
Sure.
Buck as well, I think he struggles a little bit personally on this because we mentioned there's so much tight corridors, a lot of spaces for Buck to actually bump his head, and just letting that Eevee go after Skullis had the game that he did on it, I think is a rough call.
That said, I don't see anyone where Eevee is going to get those guaranteed kills, right? If you've got a 1v1 Eevee versus Victor, unless Victor hits every headshot and doesn't get shot first, he's going to lose that fight.
Now Maldamba and Ruckus rounding out the draft for QG here. Who you liking on paper before we get into the game?
You know, I want to see QG go up 2-0 in this set, and now's their chance to do it. Black Dragons on the blue team this time. Skullis reprising his role on Eevee. Pings playing Shaolin. Butter on Barrack. Flamzito, the support on Ying. And Makoa on Bizka.
QG, Mikasa, Spiro on Fernando, Yejing once again on Ruckus. Master Lu on Maldamba this time. Knight on his famous Cassie, as both teams rounding the corner to the point here, but first zone control gonna go in favor of Black Dragons. Ruckus falling extremely low, is able to get around the corner, but Butter able to find that kill in the back line. QG answers back. Skullis trades out with Master Lu. Double kill once again for Skullis. How you gonna let the man run it back?
3 for 2 so far, and Black Dragons in the lead with Buck falling. Fernando as well, and Black Dragons have successfully wiped QG. It's going to be a long road back, and Ruck is intelligently waiting for his team as Eevee pushes forward, and she just wants the dismounts. She's safe here. There's so much room to just fly away. I don't know if QG is going to even be able to reach the point.
And Eevee landing a shot onto 2 people. The zone is so strong, 87% and climbing. It's going to be hard pressed for QG to even find their way back into this point area, and they realize that they're just forced to give it up.
Yeah, and I think Black Dragons are going to be really strong on this map if they keep winning those first fights. But they have lost one member, Buck going in, and that's a pretty good trade for Mikasa, getting rid of that carry Pings.
That's Mikasa coming in like a wrecking ball. Not Miley Cyrus, it's Mikasa though, sent back to base. Ying laying down some fire here. It's so tough to break this, especially against Fernando, when you're forced to clump up. Every enemy hit by Fireball is going to take increased damage, but there's a nice stretch anchor to try and take down the support. He slithers away, but he separated himself from his team. Master Lu is gonna fall in a nice shell spin, able to get VZ away from danger.
Knight finds a cat or an Eevee chasing her down, but Knight will be okay for now, and it seems like Black Dragon's pull has stalled as Ruckus is on the point, and Eevee doesn't really like this matchup too much. Getting taken down as Yizing finds that final shot. Now Shaolin can't push in, and with 130 left, it's starting to look grim for Black Dragons if they want to get the 2-0.
We talked about just how long the payload push is on Ice Mines and how long teams are forced to wait when they give up picks. A Dredge Anchor's gonna miss, however. That's a good look to start off the fight for QG, but it's such a tight corridor here. Both teams struggling to break this. The Ice Storm's gonna come through, not much follow-it. Here's Buckwild. He's looking to get into the back line. Mikasa finds one, nice boxed out on the front. Hexafire laying down the damage, laying down the pain as Yejing picks up 2.
Talk about some covering fire as Spira goes crazy on that Fernando, finding 3 in a row. Buck will help Pick clean up that kill as it goes to Master Lu. And now I think the question, usually the question at this point is, do we use our ultimates to try and convert? Black Dragons did, and I think they're worse off for it.
Ooh, yeah, I'd definitely be inclined to agree with you there. 30 seconds remaining and, 98% of the payload push left to be seen. We've seen some crazy overtimes before, so nothing can be ruled out just yet. Mikasa getting softened up by Planted from the high ground here. There's 2 high priority picks for him, but that's a tough angle to heroic leap into that window. Mikasa doesn't want it just yet. He's looking for the Eevee. He sees the wormhole blinking back. Mikasa just hanging out in the back line, waiting patiently, smartly for somebody to step out of position.
Only 7 seconds left, but Skullis finds a good kill, and we could see overtime here. The tanks from QG are retreating or dying. Buck low health, and he will die as well to a nice shot from Skullis. So there is a chance for Black Dragons. It's just a very small one. That double kill is going to help out, and now they are pushing, but if they step off the cart at all, they will not be able to push it all the way in.
I've seen some overtimes in my day. Skullis getting things off to a great start with that double kill. Has the opportunity for a nice Ice Storm, but needs to be careful. He's poked out very low. Going to be forced to sit in the back line, though. Get healed up. Planet's going to come out. Long range damage. Could be another good opportunity for an Ice Storm here. Looking to get things mixed up as Fernando on the front line. Blink into the high ground by Skullis. Cassie can win this trade if she lands her shot. Mikasa diving in deep, but Skullis is here to peel.
That's right. Now Fernando and Ruckus holding down the point yet again. Eevee's on there to keep it in overtime, but the moment she steps off, it's going to take down, and the successful defense will happen. Eevee had to try and go behind that tree, but she was just out of range.
Smart ultimate holds, I think, from Black Dragons here. Net worth is fairly spread out. All 5 ultimates, however, ready to go for Black Dragons, whereas Team QG only have 3 at their disposal.
That's right, but they're very close to the 4th and 5th. So as long as they use their initial ultimates well, and I think Immortal is key, right? If everyone's dumping their ultimates and you use Immortal, your team probably is just going to win.
Yep, definitely some interesting item selections coming out from both teams. You're seeing some Rejuvenate. What does this card do? This is the first time we've seen it today.
So Rejuvenate is critical for increasing the effect of your healers. As people start to get cauterized, healing is reduced, but Rejuvenate increases the healing that you take from other people. So it's really critical for these frontliners to stay more powerful in the front of the fight. Fernando and Ruckus moving out. They're trying to establish themselves on the point. Ruckus actually pulled in. That's not too much of a problem as all the ultimates are coming out. Dread Serpent, Dome Shield, they're all dropped.
Hexafire coming out. Yejing finds the first kill in this engagement. Immortal to bail him out. It's going to be good. Mikasa finding some good damage onto Pings. He's falling low and lower, 92 health. He will fall. Ancient Rage is available in the back line, and he might need it soon. It's not going to come out. Buck Wild has come out, but Mikasa finding kill after kill. QG with the initial control, and they're going to move out for a forward zone of their own.
And it worked out exactly like I thought it could. QG played that perfectly. Black Dragons dropped their combo, but Immortal mitigates it all. And then Ruckus comes in a little bit later. Buck comes in a little bit later. They find the ultimates, they find the kills, and they find the capture. It is now 2-1 in favor of QG, and they can get a 3-1 if they convert this payload.
One convincing team fight win is all it takes on Ice Mines. The respawns are just so far away. Blink in, blink out from Skullis. Try and soften up the back line, but they're firing on all cylinders right now. That's a long range hook. QG Knight is pulled all the way across the map. and cleaned up by BZ. Mikasa is in the backline, though, waiting for this Eevee to blink in. He's just playing peel duty for his backline right now.
The difficult thing about dealing with Skullist is not only is he blinking and doing tons of damage, but he's hitting shots from range too, and that's when you know you've got a really high-quality Eevee on your hands. Fernando trying to block some shots as his team retweets. 140 on the clock, and QG is going to have to get back on the cart soon if they want to convert this.
Able to take out Ye Xing's Flamecedo Knight, rotating back into the fight as well to take down the impact player. That Skullist is 130 remains on the clock. Kills trading either way. You're going to need convincing wins, though, on Ice Mines. Mikasa just falling back for the time being, wants to find safe haven, the safety of his teammates.
So here I want to see QG just looking to charge their ultimates, right? I think that's going to be crucial. They used them well in the last fight, and they got to keep doing that to build up those credits. Ping's in a bit of trouble. Cassie can give chase here if she has dodge roll, but his Black Dragon's holding the corner.
Yep, Skullist getting into the back line right now. Hasn't found a kill yet. Nice Impaler to keep Ye Xing crowd controlled. Skullist gonna go down. Pings looks like he might be soon to follow here, falling close to 100 HP. Only 50 seconds for QG to get this payload rolling. Pings taken down is going to be a good start. They're starting to roll here, but if they drop one more convincing team fight, that could be it.
That's right. Now, the difficult thing about Shaolin is your movability. You only go backwards, you turn invisible, and it's got a long cooldown, so you have to be very careful. Pings will drop, but he's not here for this fight, and Black Dragons are being pushed back. 25 seconds on the clock. And QG, they can see the end. It's in sight. They just got to keep pushing. And Buck going in with the Buck Wild finds the kill on the Pings, finds the kill on the Skullist. That's huge if they want to keep pushing.
Double kill for Mikasa, looking to keep this momentum up from QG, but this tells me they're looking to spend ultimates. They're looking to convert here. Still have 4 available. Immortal going to come online. Illusory Rift as well. 3 members down for Black Dragons. Team QG looking to close things out on this conversion, but a big planted. That's going to be a strong swing. A lot of ultimates coming out on the point. Able to immune it all is Skullist for the time being. Ancient Rage is going to prove difficult to convert on.
And unfortunately, the respawns have come out, but Immortal is keeping everyone from QG alive, but not for any longer. Spyra taking damage and in trouble as the shots from Shaolin keep raining in. Barrack does have a turret here, and it will result in the kill, and it will result in the defense. It was very close, and while they used ultimates to try and hold it, at least they got some ultimates from Black Dragons, right? They're not completely out of luck and out of resources for the next capture point.
Yeah, but a lot spent from QG to try and get that one done. Ultimate management is going to be so important, especially in a tight series like this one. Black Dragons currently leading the damage dealt chart, but a large portion of QG is not far behind. Very consistent damage across all of QG's members. They're about 45,000 average, and healing much better this time out of Master Lu.
You know, I think one of the big things here is how Scout is relatively ineffective on this map, right? There's one main thoroughfare that everyone travels through, so an ultimate that reveals everyone, which is usually amazing, is less useful. You know where they're coming from. Through the big door. Right there.
Has to see as they both head up onto the high ground here. 7-7. Knight's going to scout it all out. Master Riding, though, they're going to spot Skullist out on the side here. Is getting into the high ground, poking out the support. Lower and lower. Ice Storm is available. He could elect to go into that. That's a long-range shot combining with Pings. Going to take down Knight as well. A nice Impale arrow onto the high ground takes down Knight. Mikasa falls shortly after.
And it looks like QG just do not have the resources to fight Black Dragons with only that scout available. The 2 tanks are grouped up, but now they're getting split up. Planet comes down, so Shaolin destroys Fernando's shield. And while QG has regrouped, they can't get to the capture point. They can't contest this, and it will go up 3-2.
Black Dragon just now converting that payload, though. This is where both teams have really struggled, though. The stuff after the stuff, struggling to get the payload pushes online. Skullist poke lower and lower. He's going to be working his way around the back side here as he blinks in on the support. Wants to find the kill, struggling to find anything. So much area of effect healing coming out from Maldamba. He's going to give it another shot, but Repulsor Field giving him so much trouble right now. No one really spots him out, though. He's just free to lay this damage into the backline. Just now getting spotted out. 3 kills for QG, 2 for Master Lu, 2 for Ye Xing, and a clean wipe from the Chinese.
That was a beautiful hold from QG, and now it's all about building up those ultimates. I want to see that defensive play. I want to see Immortal, Hex of Fire, and Dread Serpent all coming back online. So at the 3-3 capture point fight, they can go in hard and heavy and find those important kills.
Early scout coming out in this team fight, spotting everyone from Black Dragons, giving them a better view of the battlefield. Buckwire comes out from Mikasa. He's in the back line, finding 1 kill onto Butter as well. Knight moving back out to some friends. A nice shot around the corner. Master Lu credited with that one. Yejing laying down the covering fire. And this zone is holding so strong from QG. There are so many favorable positions for teams to hold on Ice Mines.
Yeah, this is such a beautiful choke point for QG, and with their double tank, it's so hard to break through. As Barrick, while he's very strong defensively, he's not very good at moving forward. But Black Dragons will move forward nonetheless as Butter charges into the fray. He's going to find Fernando, meet him head-to-head. The shield comes up, and it looks like QG is taking a more defensive posture.
Black Dragons now just getting off the ground. Planet comes out, will force QG back for the time being. Skullis blinking into the backline, a 2-streak for the Shaolin, looking to make it more, finds a pop shot onto Fernando, wisely spots out Mikasa in the backline. Has been having such an impact on his support player, and that's going to be a key pickup in this engagement.
Yeah, absolutely critical. Skullis needs to go big in this fight if they want to try and push that payload all the way. Repulsor field will mitigate some damage, but not enough, as Yijing is low, and Eevee will find the kill and the double. Now it's Fernando moving forward. She does have Ice Storm, but you don't want to use in that 1v1.
It's got to be careful. Ult management going to be very important. 14 seconds remaining here, and Skullis, for all intents and purposes, is just invisible in the backline. QG need to be more aware of this Eevee. Rolling forward now is Fernando, trying to hold things down, emoting on the horse. 2 seconds, 1 second remaining. This is going to be a long overtime if QG can't hold.
Now Shaolin in trouble as Meldamba and Buck are going for him. Barrick is here, but they're just ignoring him as they know the dwarf is not that big of a threat. Push off the cart. QG will successfully defend, and yet again we have a 3-3 game. But tell me about these items. We see the record, we see the cauterize, we see the Haven, but what interests you about this spread?
A lot of the bulldozer coming out from Master Lu here. He's looking to target out those Ying illusions with that card. That is a card similar to Wrecker, but it's to deal with deployables here. So going to increase the base damage of your auto attacks against deployables like Ying clones, like Barrick Turf. A perfect pickup for Master Lu.
Yeah, I actually like that on Meldamba, right? He's got fairly high in-hand damage. With rank 2, I think he's going to be one-shotting both turrets and illusions, and that could be a big difference in this fight. Talking about the ultimates, you've got 3 on the right-hand side. They're missing Scout. That's not a big deal. 4 on the left, but Immortal is available. So if Black Dragons don't use their ultimates properly, QG can just immune all of them.
Things has the PKs available to him. Red Serpent coming out fairly early. Illusory Rift is on the table. Hexafire, both teams laying it all on the line, but getting a lot of work done in the back line is Ancient Rage. Unable to pick anything up. Skullis is here to try and confirm on that kill. This could be a big trade, and it's going to go the way of Black Dragons. Now trading out kill for kill currently in favor of Black Dragons on the point, but QG are clawing their way back.
Mikasa able to slip past everyone, and in this fight, as long as he take down... No, he can't take down the turrets. Barrick able to fortify and hold his ground. It's not going to be very easy for either of the shotgun wielders to win this battle, but Makoa's back. He's got a nice pull onto the Meldamba, and a Nitzer kill onto the Buck.
Red Serpent isn't going to be available. No ultimates really available. Heat Haze and Immortal is all that's left after both teams coming at each other hard. BZ's going to fall down. Knight on a triple kill. There's the Immortal to keep everyone alive. QG looking to make the stabilization play off the back of Knight. Blink in, blink out. This support is caught out by herself. One more shot from Master Lu. Going to send her back to her grave.
Absolutely awesome disengage to knock back the Ying for the alley-oop and the kill from Master Lu. They have to deal with this Eevee though, and at 93%, it's looking very good for QG to go up 2-0 in this series.
Overtime ticking through now. Nice disengage despite the stealth coming through from Shaolin. He's going to be shut down. Can't reset the overtime. Another game goes to QG.
Let's talk about Knight. Those disengages right at the end were so critical, and you see them there. They're still composed. They're ready to go
Knight
into
smiling.
game 3. Okay, they're composed and smiling. You can do both. They're not partying, and that's what I like, right? They're not getting too excited yet. You don't want to jump the gun.
On the Cassie there, able to just carry his team through that final team fight. That was a lot of ultimates dumped in the first one, so that really came down to raw skill, cooldown management, displacement as well in that final team fight. QG able to come out on top with all of the big guns down. Haven't had a look at Black Dragons just yet, but they're busy communicating and not looking as frustrated as they were in game number 1 here. But this will be very interesting to see, making sure that they keep morale high. Brazilians very passionate guys as they were coming on stage. It's going to be important to break these guys mentally. If they tilt, I think they're going to tilt hard.
That's right. You don't want to feel defeated before you're already going into the final game, right? You want to go in like, hey, man, we can win this. And I think they can, because Skullist is just carrying so hard. But I think what it comes down to is the Makoa pick wasn't what they needed, right? They took it away, but they didn't use it the same way that QG did.
Yeah, Skullist getting a lot of work done as well. Just providing so much space. BZ, it doesn't matter who he hooked. He was just allowed to keep his backliner safe, keep control of the front line as well. Pretty even spread in terms of objective time coming out from everyone on Black Dragon. So really just doing their part to try and, you know, get those objectives captured, get those payloads converted. But in the end, it was QG Yejing far ahead of the pack in that regard at 226.
And that's exactly what Ruckus wants to do. He's got an ability that only works on the objectives. So you want to stand there, use Repulsor Field, mitigate damage for your team, because Record doesn't do anything about that. You're just reducing the damage that everyone is taking. And yet again, Master Lu, such a good healer. Not even just a support, it's the healing, man. He puts out so much.
Wow. I'm just now noticing the difference here. Master Lu, he got outclassed a little bit in the previous game, I think, but he really put his foot down this time on this Maldama. 121,000.
Yeah.
More than doubling Flamezito on this Ying here. Absolutely insane play coming out of the Maldama player from China. Spirit doing a great job. 205,000 shielding. He was holding down the front line very, very effectively. We saw Butter playing this pick last game, this time on Barrack. Barrack, a pretty interesting pickup, I think, overall, but a great job to pick up Bulldozer and counter what Ying and Barrack were looking to do.
Yeah, I think it really did change that final fight. I mean, you saw the turrets on the point at the end. We switched the buck, the turrets were in the way, and they do a lot of damage. Not only that, but once a turret hits a player, if Barrack shoots them, he's going to deal more damage, and he can actually do a lot of damage in that one shot.
Absolutely.
So, you know, he's looking to burst people down, find the targets his turrets are hitting, and I think Butter was fairly effective on that Barrack, but the win for me was in the ultimates. I think the Immortal immuned way too much from Black Dragons because they were just kind of using everything all at once.
These guys would come out and clash. All 4 ultimates drop in the first 5 to 10 seconds of the team fight. So it's just so important for these, you know, hard counters to come out like Immortal, make those big stabilization plays. But, you know, we talked about Yejing's Ruckus. This is, you know, shaping up. It's getting better and better as the set moves on here. Repulsor Field was huge. You know, Skullus a lot of times got free in the back line, but this Repulsor Field was able to shut down a lot of what he was looking to do. And now QG up 2-0 over Black Dragons.
And now they're going to look for their next map where they get a chance to go up